This script is about the use of pills. More specifically, the dangerous abuse of pills. All sorts of pills, all colors, all shapes, all of them smaller than a bullet, but just as deadly in the wrong hands. Search, making our investigation into the facts about popping pills, dropping uppers and downers. Now, what we learned in the process of doing this had such a profound impact on us that we decided to let you experience what we did in the same way. To that end, we'll show you 3 typical everyday cases. The cases of Andy, Chris, and Mark. Glue sniffing, or inhaling spray can aerosols, is a sadly false escape from responsibilities and daily problems. It's a hazardous, risky way of getting high, of achieving a feeling of intoxication or euphoria. It causes irritation and infection. It confuses. It distorts. It destroys. The volatile chemicals inhaled can so easily cause permanent damage to kidneys, lungs, to the liver, the bone marrow, even the brain. Hopefully these 2 young, ill-advised sniffers were found out in time. Their habit is a foolish and dangerous one. With this, Mike and Howie agree completely, but unhappily for their own misguided and equally dangerous reasons.
There's a couple real idiots for you.
What? People want to get high?
Keep putting me on. Getting high can be really far out, but not with a bag and a can.
Why not? Too much, man. Too heavy. Dig it? How can you stash that stuff?
There's a better way to get high, if you're man enough to handle it. Are you?
Handle what?
Pills, man.
Pills.
Uppers, for a trip with a real kick.
The various amphetamine, the mental disorder, paranoid schizophrenia can result.
Here. White, on the house. Puts you way out there.
And he is reluctant. He's never tried anything before.
Come on, man, you can handle it.
And he's flattered. And he's anxious to be accepted, to belong, to be respected by the in-crowd.
What's the matter, dude? Chicken? Who's chicken?
Well, everyone else is doing it. And Andy doesn't want to be different. He drops his first pills. During the following weeks, Andy became a steady customer of Mike. And it wasn't long before he bragged that he'd popped every pill on the market, and then some. But Andy began to change. In school, his grades dropped noticeably. He tried to imitate his new friends and adopt their ways. And he began to identify with a special anti-social group and shut out the world of reality. His behavior caused quarrels at home, and to Andy it seemed as if his parents were always nagging. It never occurred to him that he might be giving them good reasons for calling him down, and that they were only showing their concern for him. Soon he began to exhibit the typical symptoms of the stimulant pill popper. He lost his appetite. He became overactive, excitable, and argumentative. By now, Andy was psychologically dependent on the drugs. He became a heavy user. He often became confused and acted unpredictably and irrationally. He became tired to the point of exhaustion, but was unable to sleep. In order to get some rest, he began dropping downers at night. Doze off, he'd wake up suddenly from terrible nightmares. He had seemingly little control over himself and was quick to unreasonable violence. Andy had friends, real friends, who tried to warn him of the consequences of his habit. But like most of the drug-oriented young people, he maintained a silly ostrich-headedness about the dangers of drugs. He kept on dropping pills until, for him, it was too late. Chris comes from a nice, pleasant home. She's an only child, and she's left pretty much to herself. Her father works long hours, and her mother has a part-time job to help out. There's little home life for Chris to depend upon. In her faltering search for identity, for acceptance, she's fallen in with a certain group of schoolmates. They'd gotten into trouble occasionally. Nothing serious, cutting school, fighting, but they were headed for bigger trouble. Reds is kind of a chemical Russian roulette. It wasn't hard to get Chris to take her first Reds. A little coaxing, a little flattering, and Chris was too eager to be one of the crowd to let reason interfere. Easy to build up a barbiturate habit. Addiction comes quickly. For Chris, it did not take long. And from then on, if she did not seek help, she had only one way to go, down. Her schoolwork suffered. Her grades dropped. But she was not interested. At home, she seemed always at odds with her parents, and her personal habits and grooming became increasingly lax. Soon, she required ever larger doses of the drug to satisfy her needs because of the tolerance her body had built up. Money to support her habit became a problem. She traded her wristwatch for a few rolls, telling her parents she'd lost it. And finally, she began shoplifting, adding yet another grave risk to her future. Her first theft netted her a few bucks, a mere drop in the ocean of thefts, muggings, and burglaries committed by drug users to support their habit. In one metropolitan city alone, in 1 year, this amounted to $140 million. By now, Chris lived only for her drugs. She'd left and lost her real friends. But she didn't care. Her parents were at a loss to reach her, to communicate with her, and she did not seek their help, nor the help of anyone else, and soon the downers alone were not enough for Chris. She needed the added kick of alcohol. That night, Chris did not come home. That night, she died. OD, overdose of drugs. Chris was dead, but she was not alone. The police department listed 2 more deaths that same week. All 3 victims had something in common. All 3 were 16 years of age. All 3 died of an accidental overdose of barbiturates. Besides Chris, there was one other girl. She died in an apartment where 5 of her friends were lost in the unreal world of drugs, oblivious to the very real presence of death among them. They all took drugs for kicks. The drugs offer more than kicks, much more. Like, for instance, death. This is Mark. Mark's father left home when Mark was only 9. His mother married again, but Mark never could feel close to his stepfather. Mark is bored with his home, especially since his younger brother had an accident and seems to get all his mother's attention. All she ever does for him, Mark feels, is nag, nag, nag. Mark feels a certain dissatisfaction with life, as if something is missing. Mark is well aware of the fact that several of the kids in school drop pills. So far, he hasn't dropped himself, but maybe it would make him feel good. And when Lou offers him a couple of reds, he accepts. The drowsy, peaceful, on the edge feeling Mark experienced on his first trip was most pleasant. So pleasant, in fact, that when he saw Lou again, he decided to score a few more downers from him and stock up. Pinks, escape from problems and unpleasantness, the key to a groovy, carefree high. Or, nagging in the back of Mark's mind are a lot of things he'd heard and seen in school, on TV, and magazines about the dangers of dropping pills. Probably a lot of scare propaganda, he thinks. But still, anyway, no need to make up his mind now. Later is soon enough.
All right! Beat it.
Mark was usually a good player, but today he seemed preoccupied. He didn't seem to have his mind on the game. Mark knows Willie from school, even though he is a few years older. And he knows something else about him, something important. Willie was busted for possession of drugs. He's the guy to talk to. He ought to know. And Willie does know.
I'm through with the drug scene. I put down for good this time. You're nothing special, man. Everybody's got problems. At home, in school, your friends, you name it. Everybody's got hang-ups. But no pill is going to make them go away.
Make them easier to take, though.
That's the bummer. Your problems don't get smaller, only bigger. I'm telling you like it is. There's trouble waiting in every one of those pills. At home, your family, the man, and most of all, you yourself. It's your health. It's your life you're fooling around with. No, man. Dropping pills isn't where it's at. Freaking out, getting hooked, or busted, that's not my scene.
Mark was intelligent and strong enough to win his battle. He'll make it. I know him personally. I never knew Andy nor Chris. I didn't have the chance. The tragedies of Andy and Chris, however shattering to those close to them, are only a tiny fraction of the total picture. They're only two among many thousands. We're well aware that their cases, the truth about dropping pills, may be scorned and ridiculed by some young people who are themselves among the pill poppers, already hooked, who hear only what they want to hear. Drugs are, in the end, an enormously disappointing experience, and most students are beginning to realize it. Therefore, we're confident that the majority will want to learn the facts and thus be able to decide their own course of action with reason and understanding. And the grim fact is that in New York City alone, one boy or girl, one young woman or young man dies every day from an accidental overdose of drugs. And across our continent, in Los Angeles, the same terrible fact holds true. Pills. The innocent-looking, often cheerfully colored little pills are responsible for the lion's share in this unreasoning, needless slaughter.